Welcome, folks, to the special edition. Well, not so much a special edition, but a long awaited, overdue episode of the Cooper Matrix. And I do have to apologize for being remiss. I was a little too over focused on the Delinquent Studios channel and basically kind of was a little bit remiss on what I should be doing here and what was really starting to pick up some momentum here, honestly. And so for that, I do apologize. And so a couple of things will happen today that hopefully will appease those who are still subscribers and those who are fans of the Mainframe Media channel. I am going to be doing this part that's going to focus on chapter 2, trying to get through chapter 2 as efficiently but still as detailed as I can. Reason being, I may not have been going in that direction before, but seeing as how I've already gotten through chapter 3, which essentially was the oath of an initiation of an identified, oath of initiation of an identified. Okay. All right, oath of initiation of an unidentified secret order. See, it's that whole "and" and going right into "un," so you just have to kind of pace yourself. So, oath of initiation of an unidentified secret order. So I've gotten through that, and chapters 4 and 5 are pretty quick. So we should be able to get through those pretty quickly. So we're going to focus on this one, seeing if in the next 20 minutes or so, we can get through chapter 2. And then I'll come back. As a penance for me being so remiss and having 3 weeks go by before I bring out another episode of the Cooper Matrix, I will be looking to do another one tonight that will get through those other shorter chapters and maybe start getting us into chapter 6, which may be a bit longer. But let's see here. Okay, well, chapter 6 goes from 122 and ends out at 147. So about 20 pages. And then this one's pretty. So I think we might be able to get through a few of these tonight and be able to get into chapter 9 at another point. So I'm going to try my best to make up for this. And I think this is going to be the way. But and also for Mainframe Media subscribers, I am going to be going to the Nas and Mary J. Blige, or if you're a gentleman, Mary J. Blige and Nas concert at the Virginia Beach Amphitheater, or whatever they're calling it now. I'm sorry, I'll give you the right name once I get there. But we're going to be watching that, and I'm going to be covering it, not so much as a journalist. I'm going to be doing this here because they won't allow anything professional, so I can't come as a full-on journalist. I'm coming as a part journalist, part fan, but mainly for the YouTubers and the creators. So, I mean, for all the subscribers that still stick with me and all the people that still are wondering when's the next one coming out, here it is. And, there's another treat. So if you stay tuned around 8 o'clock tonight, maybe a little bit before 8 o'clock, we'll get started covering the actual live event. So I'll be doing a live stream, but also at a live event. So sort of live at, let's just say live. Let's just say completely live. Mainframe Media Buffet, completely live episode. All right, but let's see where we might have left off here. Let's see. Okay. Let's start here where I highlighted. In 1826, an American Freemason wrote a book revealing Masonic secrets entitled Illustrations of Freemasonry. One of the secrets that he revealed is that the last mystery at the top of the Masonic period is the worship of Lucifer. We have since learned the secret of the story of the murder of Hiram Abeth. Hiram Abeth represents intelligence, liberty, and truth, and was struck down by a blow to the neck with a rule, representing the suppression of speech by the church. Then he was struck in the heart with a square, representing the suppression of belief by the state. And, excuse me, and finally he was struck on the head by a maul, representing the suppression of intellect by the masses. Freemasonry thus equates the church, the state, and the masses with tyranny, intolerance, and ignorance. Okay? So while some people may feel like the Freemasons are more builders and things like that, but it's more of a connection that intertwines within even organized society. So if someone's a judge and someone happens to appear in that court before that judge, and they both know that they're Masons, you know, the most favorable thing is probably going to happen in that situation, just the way that works, you know. But what Morgan revealed was that the Freemasons were pledged to avenge Hiram Abiff, and that their plan was to strike down the church, the state, and the freedom of the masses. Morgan caused a small uproar against the Masons. The small uproar turned into a full-blown anti-Freemason movement when the author, William Morgan, disappeared. Morgan had apparently been abducted and drowned in Lake Ontario. It was alleged that fellow Masons had done it, a claim that they deny to this day. Who else would have done it? I believe they murdered him. This is this is what the author, of course, William Cooper, is saying. The newspapers of the time state without reservation that he was murdered by Masons. The oath of initiation into the Freemasons states that if secrets are told, the initiate will be murdered. A nationwide furor ensued that resulted in the creation of an anti-Masonic political party in 1829 by Henry Dana Ward, Thurlow Weed, and William H. Seward. An interest in several anti-Masonic books was revived during that period, with the result that Freemasonry suffered a severe loss in membership. It lasted only a few years, and by 1840, the anti-Masonic party was extinct. Time really does cure all ills sometimes, but it doesn't seem to heal all wounds, does it, folks? I mean, I don't know. But if you'll excuse me a moment. Folks. Now, while I do appreciate the person who has stopped in live to watch this video, sometimes you just gotta check certain things just to make sure. But anyway, we know that the British Freemasons are a totally self-serving group that discriminates in favor of its own whenever jobs, promotions, contracts, or careers are concerned. Hence what I said about the judge and someone appearing before the judge, and they both happen to be Freemasons. That situation can happen more times than not. Just like in promotions and things like that. It's something that often has been sort of disguised within like college alumni. Somebody who's from the same alma mater and things like that will, you're going to get of course you're going to get preferential treatment if somebody goes to the same school as you used to, but sometimes it's much deeper than that and much more sinister than that. But anyway, the English Freemason organization was used by the KGB to infiltrate and take over British intelligence. British intelligence is synonymous with Chatham House, more commonly known as the Royal Institute for Internal Affairs, the parent organization of the Council on Foreign Relations in the United States. So again, folks, I'm not sure if you've seen other shows that I've done or if I've said this before in some of the other shows that I've done, but the UK has always been a parent organization, a mentor to the United States. It was always meant to be just another wide extension. Like the UK has always been a big proponent of colonizing itself all over the world. And the United States was to be another monumental way that they would extend their kingdom, extend their empire all over. And then all of a sudden, this shift happened out of nowhere, of course. But blah 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 blah, Revolutionary War, blah 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 blah, Tea Party, blah 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 blah, taxes, blah 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 blah, people behind the curtain making it all look good, and the same bullshit occurs no matter what. But hey, again, the English State Police, Scotland Yard, ordered its personnel not to join the Masons for fear the same would happen to them. Of course, you have been told all your life that the Freemasons are only a benevolent fraternal organization bent on only on community service. Read on, oh innocent one. Probably the most notorious Freemason lodge is the P2 Lodge in Italy. This group has been implicated in everything from bribery to assassinations. P2 is directly connected to the Vatican, the Knights of Malta, and to the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. It is powerful and dangerous. The P2 Lodge has succeeded in infiltrating the Vatican and has scored a coup of tremendous significance. The Pope, John Paul II, has lifted the ban against Freemasonry. Many high-level members of the Vatican are now Freemasons. I tell you now that Freemasonry is one of the most wicked and terrible organizations upon this earth. The Masons are major players in the struggle for world domination. The 33rd degree is split into two. One split contains the core of the Luciferian Illuminati, and the other contains those who have no knowledge of it whatsoever. All of the intelligence officers that I worked for while in naval intelligence were Masons. As I stated before, I believe that my association with the De Molay Society as a young adult may have been the reason that I was selected for naval security and intelligence. However, that is only a guess. I had intended to go into great detail linking P2, the Prieur de Sion, the Vatican, the CIA, organizations for a united Europe, and the Bilderberg Group. Fortunately, Michael Bagent, Richard Lee, and Henry Lincoln beat me to it. I say fortunately because they confirmed my previous allegation that I published in my paper, The Secret Government, that the CIA had plants called moles deep within the Vatican. I do not wish to be called a plagiarist, so you must read Holy Blood, Holy Grail, and the Messianic Legacy, both by Bagent, Lee, and Lincoln. Any reputable bookstore should carry them. Between pages 343 and 361 of the Messianic Legacy, you can read of the allegiance of power that resulted in a secret world government. Most members of the Freemasons are not aware that the Illuminati practices what is known as secrets within secrets, or organizations within organizations. It's kind of weird because they seem to have an exclusive group themselves, so that just seems kind of odd that they wouldn't seem to know that to be the case. All right. Welcome number 2 then. All righty. Sorry, folks. Every once in a while I may veer off just to kind of checklist certain things here. But let's see. That is one purpose of initiation. Okay? I cannot excuse any of the members, however, for anyone who joins a society without knowing everything about the organization is indeed a fool. Only those at the top who have passed every test truly know what the Masons are hiding, thus rendering it impossible for anyone outside to know much at all about the group. What does that say about new members or those who are already members but do not know the ultimate secrets? It tells me that fools abound. Unlike authors who out of fear have acted as apologists for the Freemasons, I decline to absolve them of responsibility and guilt. The Freemasons, like everyone else, are responsible for the cleanliness of their home. The occupant of a secret house within a secret house within a secret house cannot clean if he cannot see the number of rooms or what they contain. Their house is a stinking cesspool. look to the Masons for the guilty party if anything happens to me. I mean, folks, there have been cases that have been built. You watch Dateline a lot. There have been cases that have been built where people say, hey, if anything happens to me, look to this particular person, look to my husband, look to my wife, look to my coworker that I don't like or whatever. Now we have a published book that he know people would buy and see where he says, hey, if anything happens to me, like his murder by federal agents in an ambush on his property, maybe we should look to the Freemasons. Maybe we should think the Freemasons had their hand in this. Maybe they waited around long enough for people not to notice. I don't know. I believe that they have murdered in the past and that they will murder in the future. I firmly believe that all adult secret societies that practice degrees of initiation and consider the members to be illuminated are branches of the original ages-old Illuminati. Their goal is to rule the world. The doctrine of this group is not democracy or communism, but is a form of fascism. The doctrine is here we go. The doctrine is totalitarian socialism. You must begin to think correctly. The Illuminati are not communists, but some communists are Illuminati. Monarchism, thesis, face democracy, antithesis in World War I, which resulted in the formation of communism and the League of Nations, synthesis, antithesis, thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. Democracy and communism, thesis, faced fascism, antithesis in World War II, and resulted in a more powerful United Nations, synthesis. Capitalism, thesis, now faces communism, antithesis, and the result will be the New World Order, totalitarian socialism, synthesis. The 1953 report of the California Senate Investigating Committee on Education stated, so-called modern communism is apparently the same hypocritical world conspiracy to destroy civilization that was founded by the Illuminati and that raised its head in our colonies here at the critical period before the adoption of our Constitution. The California Senate understood that communism is the work of the Illuminati. They failed to realize that the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission are also the work of the Illuminati. You must begin to buddy. All right. You must begin to think correctly. The enemy is not communism. It is Illuminism. The communists are not going to be much happier with the New World Order than we. I hope to show that most modern secret societies, and especially those that practice degrees of initiation, and that is the key, are really one society with one purpose. You may call them whatever you wish: the Order of the Quest, the Jason Society, the Roshaniah, the Kabbalah, the Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta, the Knights of Columbus, the Jesuits, the Masons, the Ancient and Mystical Order of Rosy Crucis, the Illuminati, the Nazi Party, the Communist Party, the executive members of the Council on Foreign Relations, the group, the Brotherhood of the Dragon, the Rosicrucians, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, the Open Friendly Secret Society, the Vatican, the Russell Trust, the Skull and Bones, the Scroll and Key, the Order. They are all the same and all work toward the same ultimate goal: a new world order. I mean, that is right there, folks. And I can extend on to it, folks. Bad politicians, okay, corrupt president, corporations, lobbyists, European, the black nobility, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you want to say, the Arabs, Saudi Arabia, Israel, you know what I'm saying? Evil Jews, whatever you want to say, bottom line, folks, you're all correct. It's all correct. It's all the same. It's all going towards the same goal. Plain and simple. Oh, just 1 second, folks, because we had a person to leave and then come back. Wow, let's see here. All right, folks. Well, I hope this is just genuine supporters here. I certainly would like to hope that that's what that is. But many of them, however, disagree on exactly who will rule this new world order. And that is what causes them to sometimes pull in opposite directions while nevertheless proceeding toward the same goal. The Vatican, for instance, wants the Pope to head the world coalition. Some want Lord Maitreya to head the New World Order. Lord Maitreya is the front runner, I believe, since witnesses say he was present on the ship at Malta with Bush, Gorbachev, and the 10 regional heads of the New World Order. Approximately 200 dignitaries from around the world attended a major conference initiated by Maitreya in London on April 21st and 22nd, 1990. Representatives of governments, including the USA, members of royal families, religious leaders, and journalists, all of whom had met with Maitreya previously and attended the conference. Quote from Prophecy Watch, column of Whole Wheat, number 8, Minneapolis. Someone who has spent an awful lot of money announcing his presence. The Pope will have to approve him if Maitreya is selected, however, and that would fulfill the Bible prophecy in the book of Revelation that states that the first beast will be given his power by Rome. If you can interpret Revelation as I can, then you know that the Pope will ultimately win out and will reign as the second beast. In 1952, an alliance was formed, bringing them all together for the first time in history. The Black families, the Illuminati, the Order, the Vatican, and the Freemasons now work together to bring about the New World Order. All will protest their innocence and will do everything within their power to destroy anyone who suggests otherwise. I will undoubtedly become a target when this book is published. Was he not? Was he not? You may notice that some of those listed in the preceding paragraphs do not, or so it appears, practice degrees of initiation. That is public view. Look at the Council on Foreign Relations. Many members, in fact, the majority, never serve on the executive committees. They never go through any initiation of any kind. They are, in fact, the power base and are used to gain a consensus of opinion. The majority are not really members, but are made to feel as if they are. In reality, they are being used and are unwilling or unable to understand. The executive committee is an inner core of intimate associates, members of a secret society called the Order of the Quest, also known as the Jason Society, devoted to a common purpose. The members are an outer circle who does not toe the mark. Who does not toe the mark. I do apologize. Let me do this again real quick. Let me go back. The members are an outer circle on whom the inner core acts by personal persuasion, patronage, and social pressure. That is how they bought Henry Kissinger. Rockefeller gave Kissinger a grant of $50,000 in the early 50s, a fortune in those days, and made dear old Henry a member of the CFR. Anyone in the outer circle who does not toe the mark is summarily expelled, and the lesson is not lost on those who remain. Do you remember the human desire to be a member of the elect? That is the principle at work. The real power are men who are always recruited without exception from the secret societies of Harvard and Yale, known as the Skull and Bones and the Scroll and Key. Both societies are secret branches, also called the Brotherhood of Death, of what is otherwise historically known as the Illuminati. They are connected to parent organizations in England, the group of Oxford University, and especially All Souls College. And Germany, the Thule Society, also called the Brotherhood of Death. I learned this when I was with Naval Intelligence. I was not able to explain why some members of the executive committee were not listed, excuse me, were not listed under addresses of chapter 322 of the Skull and Bone Society until I read The Wise Men by Walter Isaacson and Evan Thomas, Simon and Schuster, New York. Under illustration number 9, in the center of the book, you will find the caption, "Love It," with the Yale unit above far right on the beach. His initiation into Skull and Bones came at an airbase near Dunkirk. I have found that members of these two societies were chosen on an outgoing basis by invitation, based upon merit post-college, and were not confined to only Harvard or Yale attendees. Only members of the order are initiated into the Order of the Quest, the Jason Society that makes up the executive members of the Council on Foreign Relations and, in fact, the Trilateral Commission as well. The executive members on the Council on Foreign Relations are the real elect in this country. George Bush is a member of the order. Surprised? You shouldn't be. His father was also a member who helped finance Hitler. Understand, folks, that financed Hitler, again, IBM. Bush worked for IBM for a long time. He was a part of that. He was a part of that whole situation. And there we go. IBM helped with accounting machines to help them categorize and keep control, keep a numbers, categorization on who they killed, how many they killed in each category or group. Alrighty. Well, folks, I do understand also. This is really coming to the table meaning here. We have reached 30 minutes, which means that goes out soon. Have to be going to that concert, which I'm going to be doing a live show on this channel. So I will be coming back. It's just that, and I'll also be doing a part 2. So just have to try our best here. And to all those out there, again, I do apologize. Ghost in the Prison, I believe you are genuine. And if that is the case, I do apologize for not getting back to you sooner. Like I said, I just had to make sure I had everything established and everything moving into definitely a great book, but I definitely have to get, back into keeping in contact with people. I just had 2 channels I was trying to balance out, and I'm just trying to make sure that everything is going to run a little bit more smoothly. I think so. So I think I'll be, trying to work in some guests and doing some other creative things if I can. So, but I think that the best thing now is that I have my laptop with OBS. I have my podcast equipment. So I think we're going to be doing some good things, and we'll be able to bring on some good guests and maybe do some pre-recorded stuff. Not so much live, but maybe pre-recorded, and maybe go ahead and just do some stuff. Well, thank you very much, Kickstand, Agent Aqua. Kickstand is Agent Aqua. Thank you very much. I do apologize, folks, for those who may feel like I'm cutting out short. Like I said, it's just at this particular point in time, I'm going to be heading out. I'm going to be heading out to a concert. I will be doing part 2 of this, where we will be closing out chapter 2 and getting into the other chapters. Thank you very much for your time. But I do want to say very quickly, not quite. All right, folks. Well, I certainly thank you very much. I do apologize for the short one. Please, for the new subscribers and for the old ones, please come back later on, or please stick around, because in about an hour or so, I will be covering a live concert in Virginia Beach. So stick with me, folks. I'll be with you real soon. Thank you very much for your time. Just stay around.